Hey everybody, going to be doing some comparisons between the fire and the Cronos weapon. A lot of people do not like that I said that it was weaker. The Cronos weapon was weaker than the basic fire spear. It clearly is. It's not even remotely close. The distance between these two weapons is so large that today I'm going to be doing a 38 fire weapon versus a 50 Awakened 3 Cronos spear. The Cronos is favored to win, obviously, here. That is a very kind of unsurmountable amount of attack difference. But to try and make up for it, we will be using fire as the main element. So the fire attack on this gets kind of added onto that. It's about 1.17-ish weighted. It's not like a straight one-to-one comparison with flat attack. Elemental attack is a little bit stronger. We're going to be using the skill damage increasing gloves. You know what? Let's actually use the Berserker gloves. I did do a ton of tests and I used the skill damage increasing gloves. I don't actually think the Berserker gloves are strong enough, like quick enough in a 30-second test to actually get an extra one. So I expect maybe my results are going to be a lot lower. And I will show you all the results that I did from hours and hours of testing earlier, and some even results I have from the past. I did some 10-minute runs in the past with my water weapon was equipped. And then I was using the fire in the Cronos, the fire in the earth, and the earth and the Cronos as sub-weapons. And then I did one with the Milky equipped, because I do believe the Milky is the best weapon in the game. And then I did, well, if I'm using water element and my Milky is a shoe-in, should I use the fire spear, the earth spear, and or the Cronos spear as my third weapon and the sub-weapon? The water rare is a garbage weapon, and you should assemble it for cubes like I have, so... if you get the super rare anyway. So don't worry about that. It is just not a good weapon. But I do have some 10-minute recorded results for those, which I could share. At the time of that recording, my necklace was 42, my fire spear was 39, my Chrono spear was 41, and my earth spear was 42. So keep those numbers in mind when I do show those results if you're looking for something more even-ish levels of enhancement. The Cronos back then was Awakened 2, and to make up for the evasion rate of the dummy when I set the level to 110, I was just using an accuracy relic, accuracy theater buff from my guild buff shop. Alright, so let's use the Berserker gloves this time, because sometimes the Cronos does get an extra swing with this skill. I was trying to tilt the results towards the Cronos earlier, and I'll explain the methods, the methodology, and so on as I go. I'll be using a 110 mob because it's important to not use a level 1 or level 0 mob. While I do still have a level advantage on this, it does still have a tremendous amount of defense and things like that are going to be mitigating the damage that I do. Alright, without any more delays, let's get this started. So first we are doing, well, let's see. We're doing the fire spear first, and I will display the stats so you can see it, and I will have them written in the spreadsheet as well. And if we happen to have any good runs or bad runs that are outliers, maybe we'll redo some of those runs. Like, I'm hoping to hit within the range. I did about 15 runs each between the fire and the Cronos, I think that the Berserker gloves are really going to kind of favor the fire, because sometimes the Cronos got extra attacks. So that is actually not the highest run that I did. Maybe the damage gloves are better. So 26,749. Here is the spreadsheet. This is the video run. So 26,749. What was that? Oh, 951. All right. And then we're going to put on the Cronos and go for that as well. The Berserker gloves, now that I'm thinking about it, maybe I should go back and redo all the tests with the Berserker gloves, just so the Cronos isn't getting extra basic skills frequently. Unfortunately, you do have to redo this every single time, so if you don't like the longer videos or whatever, I apologize. I do want to make sure that Might is out. Also, Kona is the one that is attacking regularly. I want Might to be out when I start the run, so I don't have any lag. Oh, I think Kona quit there. This is going to be a very strong run for the Cronos weapon. probably going to be above average here in the score. If you did not know, super rare familiars do have a slightly higher basic attack modifier than all of the other familiars. So the basic attacks on Kona actually hit harder than the basic attacks from Might. My Kona is awakened 7, my Might's awakened 10. I don't believe that that is the issue. Okay, 26216695. 26216. 695. All right, and as you can see here, the fire spear actually beat the Cronos weapon. Not by much though, only by about 50k. Up here, the average. These are the 15 runs that I did for the fire, and over here is with the Cronos. You can see the attack above. And I did display the attack as well, so I should probably display the attack for my Cronos weapon to make sure that everybody sees that I'm using the same setup. Here's the 107,000 and 27,000, almost 28. And you can see that that's the same up here. So this was my best run, my worst run. These are the runs that were done on the video. You can see that they do fit well within the averages here. This actually is a slightly more powerful run. And this actually is also a slightly more powerful run if you look at the straight average. So these were both overperforming runs. So I think that's actually a pretty fair comparison based off the data set that I collected earlier. If you want to see the actual, the skills is why I should probably do that. The first test is what I generally farm with if I'm not using the Cronos weapon. If I have the Cronos weapon on, I do prefer to use Exquisite Sense. Because I do get it's only 16.25 or whatever percent attack speed increase. But with Rapid Pulse and with like my account daily sign-up bonus, like the attack speed is significant enough that Exquisite Sense does really kind of start to outshine like my attack aura buff. Your attack aura buff is not going to be nearly as influential as mine, most likely, because my attack is regularly within the 100,000 to 115,000 range. So for me, the attack aura and the attack boost buffs are just giving me so much raw attack that if you know how defense works in this game, it does get to be pretty beneficial. But if I am using the Cronos, I do try to use Rapid Pulse because I think that it is nice, even with the Milky, to have those guaranteed crits. But the first test, this is kind of like a general list. Everybody has access to these. Attack boost, attack aura and Rapid Pulse, basically every witch is going to have access to. Attack boost is going to be based off of your ability to farm passive pages, and if you've been buying these, all these skills are level 10 for me. All these skills are level 10 for me. And the second one, I threw on Exquisite Sense and Fire Barrage 6. The goal for this test was to kneecap my fire weapon, which it did, but not by as much as I thought it would, to be honest. The Fire Barrage 6 was to add a extra damage increase multiplier, because in damage to burn increases on the Fire Barrage skill. Exquisite Sense was obviously to favor the Cronos because it does attack more frequently than the fire weapon, obviously. So I put the Exquisite Sense on. It is only level 3. My Fire Barrage is level 6. They are not level 10. That's why their numbers are listed here. Exquisite Sense 3 and Fire Barrage 6. And again, you can see the stats in both loadouts up at the top. But I did this because I wanted to water down my sources of fire attack, so the relative amount of fire attack on my fire weapon was not as important in the grand scheme of my total numbers. And as you can see, it's a few thousand attack. It's actually pretty significant. And with the Exquisite Sense, I really want to kind of give, because the generalist thing really, the fire weapon actually beat it, which was surprising. Again, this is a level 38 enhancement, and this is a level 50 enhancement. So this was kind of an unexpected result. I thought that would be close, but I didn't think that the fire would win. I specifically did this test now with my fire weapons in the dumpster, and my Cronos weapon is 50, just to kind of put some of these ideas that the Cronos weapon is actually good and doesn't need a buff to bed. Because it does need a buff. It could double its attack speed. It might still not be as strong as the fire weapon. Unless you have an immense amount of attack. like 150 to 200,000 attack. Oh, and the last one, I did kind of the best of both worlds. I put on Rapid Pulse, Exquisite Sense, and my attack boost, which was level 10, as it says here, for like to kind of meet in the middle. And surprisingly, the attack boost actually, I think the difference here, 25 million, almost 700,000, 26 million, 200. So it's like 500k. Difference, and this is like 600k difference, almost like 660. So they're pretty close. The fire did have some exceptionally bad runs if you're looking at the worst, second worst and third worst. So it could have just been really bad RNG. Like I said before with the video run here, we will do a rerun of this and a rerun of this on the video. But that's just kind of the methodologies that I'm using. Here's the numbers, use them as you see fit. These are the best and the worst, and the difference, you can see that there is a consistent bipolarity with the fire weapon. That is to be expected because it's multiplying damage. So if I get crits on high damage rolls, it's going to give me higher highs. And if I'm increasing my damage modifier and it happens to be a low roll damage hit, it's a lower low. So that's going to be normally expected. I don't think that's going to surprise anybody that actually knows how the math works in this game. The Cronos is very consistent. The most bipolar one was this one. But this one was actually pretty up there too, but very, very consistent in the first test. But it was very consistent by comparison to the fire weapon every single time, which, like I said, is to be expected because we have, not only do we have nothing influencing the damage outcome, so the individual damage rolls on all of our attacks, because we're not hitting our max damage every hit, obviously there is a damage range, and that's what's being multiplied here, which gives us higher highs and lower lows. The opposite of that would be the Cronos increasing our attack speed, so we have many more attacks happening. So we hover more around the mean because we have a larger data set of numbers. Okay, so this was with the extremes, the best, the three best of each. If you look at it at the absolute extremes, the difference is actually not tremendous, about 900,000 damage here, almost a million, and over here, the worst, the Cronos actually has a higher worst by about 700 or 600k. We'll call it. Let's round it to 7. We'll call that 700k. Nah. All right. Whatever. Anyway, let's just. No, I'm not going to do the difference. I don't want to do more math while I'm sitting here. But that was for results 1. So the Cronos, if you want to average these two numbers for the extremes and these two numbers for the extremes, you could get that. Or what you could do, this is without the extremes, so I took out the 3 best and the 3 worst from each row, and I just took the middling numbers from each test, and I averaged them out, and they are much closer, but there is still an edge to the fire weapon. Okay, now over to the kneecapping of the fire weapon here, as if it needs to be kneecapped anymore, because it's already, if you want to see the attack difference, this is 12,500. We are doing fire elements, so this 3,400-ish attack is relevant. And then this is 23,300 attack. Again, also very relevant. So this time we're going to start with the Cronos first. I will set my skills to have the Fire Barrage and the Exquisite Sense on. So we will get rid of the attack. One of the reasons that this should benefit the Cronos is because I do have a damage increase multiplier on my fire weapon if I'm lowering the amount of damage that is being output and making it more frequent. And then also watering down the fire. That was the theory behind kneecap, like how this skill loadout would kneecap the fire weapon. So and again, I want people who have already heavily invested into their Cronos to not feel too bad about it. It's obviously not optimal, but I want them to feel like there is different particular loadouts that might give them better results if they've already got significant investment into it. So let's set the monster back, 110 Earth monster. And I apologize if you hear the movie in the background or baby whining. This is the quietest I can make my house, so I apologize for that. We're going to let Cronos go first, and just so you can see that the stats are what they were posted. While this is going, 96.2 and 29.3. And as you can see, that's what it is up here. Well, looks like we're having, oh wow, we're having quite a lot of crits actually. This might be, maybe the Cronos gets a blowout run here and just puts it to shame. The Cronos did win in this test, so if it has like a crazy amazing run, that would be cool. But that is actually a bad run. Interesting. 24.428. 4.428, 9.52. Okay, that is significantly below my average. It's not below the worst. It's a decent amount higher than the worst. But the best, second best, and third best runs here were all very high. 2.71, 2.68, 2.68. So perhaps I just had very good runs here because the three high ones are fairly close to the top. But that is the number we came out with. Maybe that is more representative of the actual average. But that's not what the data that I collected had, so we'll just move into the fire. So let's put the fire weapon on. Okay, and to show the stats, so over here. Oh, actually, we have 85206. This is off. 34,091. Okay, that's correct. Okay. So I don't know, I must have just fat fingered that one. Okay, so that is corrected. All right, so let's go for the fires attempt. Set this monster Earth 110. Back. We will start that and go. All right. I'm just going to be turning my mic off if the baby is whining too much while the run is going, so I can kind of minimize the pain of people's ears. Wow, this looks like probably the worst run of all my fire runs, actually. That's got to be the worst run. Maybe we should redo that one, or maybe I should just live with it. Yeah, that's not that much farther from the worst, but it is definitely the worst run. 22533 945. I will do. I'm gonna leave this here, but I will do a second result. I will do one more. If I hit bottom twice, anybody on Team Fire Spear is better. Is just gonna have to suck it up, because this was designed to kneecap the Fire Spear, so I'm not gonna be giving it some extras. But because it was actually below my worst, I will do a second one, and you can live with whatever number you think is better. I will do that same rule for all of the runs. If I hit above what my maximum result is or below my minimum result in anything, I will do a second or third run if I mimic it. Bad luck does happen, so I do want to try and make this a little bit more not bullshit. I would like the results to be pretty consistent. So okay. Wow, not a single hit on that. Oh, but Kona crit. Okay, so even though I'm not seeing like any other crits at all, this is yeah, I'm pretty sure I've only hit Exquisite Sense crits and 2 Kona basic attacks in his skill. This is another bad run. Is it going to surprise me and hit a bunch of crits at the end? Here come the basic attacks. Oh, well. Okay, there was a lot of crits at the end there. I think that makes up for it. So 25,9,696. Well, I don't like this now either because it beat the Cronos. You know what? I'm gonna do one more run with the Cronos to make it fair. This is an extreme outlier. That's kind of why I wanted to redo it. But because I did do a second run with the fire weapon and it wasn't supposed to win here, it is supposed to lose. So I will do one more run with the Cronos weapon. Okay, so hopefully the Cronos weapon doesn't whiff and miss every single critical here. Concona crit, that would be nice. Nope, but there was a crit on the meteor. Yeah, I'm getting a lot of crits here. This has got to be a decent run. It's not looking great right now, but these basic attacks, decaying touch, basic attack. Huh. Okay, you know what? There was one small irregularity where I didn't see the skill go off one more time, so just let me, bear with me. I know it's not perfectly fair, but we are going to just do one more run with the Cronos. Yes, Blue Q, I was doing damage test results the entire time. Okay. I want to make sure Might is out. I don't want anything to be different at all. Okay, this run looks even worse. Um, Okay, well, 24,223,9. What is the highest? It's lower than this. All right, we're gonna leave this, and what we'll do is we'll average these two results out, just to make it kind of a little bit more fair. So 22533945 plus 25900,696, and we'll just divide that by 2 for 24,217. Yeah, the fire spear did kind of win this test, but it's like I'm not gonna do a fourth run and spend the whole time in here. This we can call this one a tie even, though it if you're on Team Fire Spear, maybe you're gonna be yelling at me for that one. You can't make anybody happy. Anyway, for the last test, we are gonna do. Oh, I should probably go over the rest of the data. These were the results if I took the best run and the worst run, and these were the results if I took the worst run and for both. And this is the results without the extremes. I did have a clear advantage for the Cronos when I did my tests. It's just the video, for some reason, wants to hate on the Cronos weapon so far, so this is what it is. Though it did overperform, I guess, in the first test. It didn't overperform enough to beat the fire, but it did overperform above the average. It severely underperformed 3 straight times here. But when I was doing my actual tests, like I said, I like this first, second, and third best result are like they are very high, so perhaps I did have like a great string of luck for that test. So perhaps my kneecap design was not great at all, and the theory was bad. But that is what it is. We'll call this one. We'll call it a tie. If you have any issues with it, then just post it in the comments below. Who you think really should have won this test. Obviously, the fire weapon did have the highest result, but that's I thought it was pretty high end, so I don't know about that. Okay, so let's move into the last test. We're going to use attack boost 10 over the fire weapon, and then I got to get to field boss because I have 8 minutes. So first, let's go change the passive, attack boost 10, get rid of that. We're going to look at the stats real quick for both weapons so I can just save some time. You can confirm the stats yourself or point out if I made any mistakes with a spreadsheet by pausing it yourself, because I do have to get the field boss. All right, and we will set the monster. No. Okay, hit auto. Hit start. All right. If you do feel like I have made some mistake in the way that I framed these tests or these damage displays, post it in the comments below. Also, if my fire spear happened to be level 50, what do you think the actual results of this test would have been? All right, 24, 1, 4, 6, 6, 4, 5. I believe that was the fire weapon. Wow, that's really below average for both. Okay. That's for the fire spear, it's fine. Alright, it's for the fire spear, it's fine. The Cronos ate shit on the last test, and this is another test that the Cronos should win. And I'm running out of time, so we will just let it eat shit there. Alright, and hopefully the Cronos just pops off here and gets like 1,000,000 damage more than my highest run somehow. And we call it a day. Not amazing, but pretty good. Probably 26.5. 26.2. Alright, so 26.2 to 1, 8 to 1. Alright, which is actually almost bang on the average. I'll do one more run with the fire. Because I do still have another 5 minutes or so. But if I hit minimum rolls on this one, guys, that's just going to be it. I do got to get the field boss. And my baby behind me is moaning because his mom's not here. Doesn't like the movie I put on, I guess. Alright, here's our last test, and then I'll very quickly go over the results in the spreadsheet once I get to my field boss location. Not gonna lie, I'm not seeing enough crits. I don't think this is gonna be a good run. Oh, maybe Decaying Touch can save it, and the strongest basic skill. Alright, there we go. That's closer to the mean. Alright. 26 even. There we go. So that's actually slightly above average from my other runs. But again, what the point of this video was, and I just got to get into the position because I am very late for field boss. The point of this video was just to kind of demonstrate the differences. In my actual fire deck, this is my actual fire deck currently. I will be using the Cronos weapon during field boss. Do I have a party? Oh, crap. Members. Crap. Leave party. Crud. There we go. Do I have 2 or 3 minutes to go over the data? Hopefully I don't need any food and nobody strong shows up. Okay, well, we do have... I got 1 minute and 49 seconds. That's great. So we can do this real quick. I am going to use Cronos in my actual loadout deck because I'm not doing any basic attack damage. The Silver Bear dies like insanely fast, so the Cronos is actually beneficial here. But here is the average. Here is the video results. Here is with the best results and the worst results as the other one, if you would like to keep that for your personal notes. And here are the extremes removed. The Cronos did win in my other tests, though it does... Oh, crud. Moved that by accident. Though it does seem more like a tie in these two, the Cronos over many runs was edging it out by a decent amount. It could be also that I use damage increasing gloves for the first test, which strongly favor the Cronos, and I just realized now that I switched the Berserker gloves for the regular test. So in the initial test, it probably was bad design because the Cronos was getting extra basic skills fired because that slight speed, because the way that the time works out with just a regular pair of gloves, it's not reducing cooldown. You can sometimes get 1, 2, or even 3 if you're super lucky, special like basic skills to get fired out. Anyway, that is going to be that. And you know what? Just because I feel like it, a little bit of a bonus. I am going to show you how I do field boss too, because a lot of people don't know how to pilot properly. So this is how I'm. This is going to be like a little guide for people that are piloting, so they don't do such a bad job. So why don't we keep that in the video? And I'm just going to mute myself and my baby for the rest.